everyone, Nightcat here, and today I'm going to be talking about the TV show Surface. And before I start, I just wanted to ask, does anybody even remember this show? Because it has been long forgotten. I mean, it came out in 2005 and it only lasted for one season until 2006, just due to low ratings. But, I just remember, like I said, I remember growing up with this show and I was only watching it, I can say honestly, just for the sea monsters that were in it, just because I thought it was cool. But the other day, I actually went on Amazon and I purchased the whole disc set. So I'm actually gonna do a little bit of a review with that as well after, but I'll let y'all know when that's coming. Um, so going back for people that don't remember, so there's a lot actually that's going on in the show, and it was such a different experience for me just going back and like rewatching it as an adult, like understanding, of course, why things are happening the way that they're happening. So these creatures, these sea monsters, they resemble, I guess you could say, like iguanas, and they were actually what is it, genetically engineered, I guess, is that how you say it, by the government. And I forgot why they said that the creatures were made, because I think there was this one part in the show that they were actually, the government, I guess, was creating a whole bunch of other creatures as well. But these sea monsters were, I guess, living under the seafloor, and eventually they were coming up to the surface, and there were a lot of things happening in, I guess, different parts of the world where, unidentified disappearances. Like there's this one scene where I think it was in Australia where it's probably one of the most, I guess you could say, iconic scenes in the whole show, is where one of the sea monsters comes up underneath this boat and just completely devours it. And that, if you all have thalassophobia or a fear of the ocean, then I bet some of y'all wouldn't want to watch the show. So, and I was gonna say too, the cast was very they all did a very great job, and you might see some familiar faces such as Lake Bell, who plays Laura Daughtry, and Carter Jenkins, who plays Miles. And of course there's some other familiar faces in there as well. I remember the I forgot what his name was, the detective. He was one of Leslie Chow's goons in The Hangover. So, because I was rewatching it and I knew that that guy looked familiar, and I went and looked him up, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's where he's from. But also, I still to this day, I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna get it, another season. But I just, it this show definitely left us on a cliffhanger. And if you see at the bottom right there, at the end of the series, and of course, spoiler alert too, at the end of the series, the creatures are gnawing at the seafloor, which triggers a tsunami that is going to hit Wilmington. And, well, it's still a lot to say, but Miles and his girlfriend, and then Laura and Rich are left in the city, and they're trying to escape in their car. And then eventually the tsunami comes, and then they have to run into this church for safety. And I was just always wondering what would happen after that. I mean, did anybody come back to rescue them? Because that's just something that I've always wanted to know. And oh my gosh, the little Nimrod, he's one of the little baby sea monsters. He's just so cute in this show. And there's also other versions of him as well, but I love the relationship that he has with Miles, because it very much reminded me of the E.T. and Elliot relationship, because I really do think that they took some inspiration from that as well. And even on the front of the what is it, the DVD cover, it says a show with some Spielbergian tricks of suspense, and I believe they are talking about Steven Spielberg, of course, and he directed E.T. But the whole dynamic between Nimrod and Miles is very similar to the ET relationship because um, Nimrod gives Miles special powers, but I think it was because he was actually bitten by another baby sea monster, which because these sea monsters they cause electrical interference and they have all these it's something to do with the yeah just I guess similar to I guess you could say they're similar to electric eels, but and they emit these large um green waves of energy, which is that I guess you could say electrical interference. And um what else was I gonna say? Sorry, y'all, I just lost my train of thought. But the whole relationship, I mean, it was just so similar. How in ET, Elliot, I guess, gets special powers as well, just from his connection from him. And I believe that Miles, he had gotten bit by one of the creatures, and he was actually able to heal very quickly. And he was also able to cause that electrical interference as well. He even got into a fight with a bully, and I don't know if he killed him. I think he just knocked him out. Probably put him in a really bad coma. Because all he had to do was just touch him, and then he sent that like shockwave completely through his body, and then he just dropped to the ground, and his body was like almost burnt to a crisp. I mean, not really bad, but you could just tell that. um, so also, I wanted to say I looked this up, and there's another show that came out recently in 2022 called Surface, but it has no, um, of course, relation to the 2005 show because I forgot what the 2022 show was about, but I looked it up like literally before I had done this. um, so yeah, I just want to say it's not a that show is not a remake. It's not related to it at all. But unfortunately, of course, when you're going to look up the show Surface now, that's the first one that's going to pop up, and the 2005 one is going to be the last one. So, but like I was saying, like I said, I hope we get a season 2 or just I don't even care. Like somebody come up with some fan fiction. I think people already have to I've seen people doing like drawings of little Nimrod and stuff like that. But yeah, I just miss this show so much. And I was going to say too that there are some moments that are pretty goofy and there's also moments where you can tell that the CGI just wasn't quite there and didn't really look that good. You can just clearly tell. I think there's one scene in particular where there's whale carcasses out floating in the ocean, and you can just clearly tell that the CGI was not finished or that they just were slacking with that. But um, yeah, I guess what else I wanted to say. A very interesting story regarding this show for me too is that recently I was working at my job and I had this one gentleman come in and he said he was from Wilmington where they had filmed the show. And when he said that, I told him, I said, "Oh, do you remember that show Surface? Because that's where it was filmed." And he said, "Oh, I was actually there when they were filming it." So I just thought that was pretty cool because I'm sure he was even shocked that I even remembered the show too. So, but yeah, just yeah, I just love how stuff happens like that. But yeah, I just feel that I'm probably only one of the remaining few people in this world that actually remembers this show because I go on YouTube all the time and I see videos like I'll type in the show and I only see just a couple videos from almost what like 16, 15 years ago. And there's even some people that say that this is one of the best TV series of all time. I mean, I don't I don't think that's true, but it definitely, in my opinion, deserved a second season and probably deserved to go on for a very long time. But I really don't understand why the ratings were so low. I mean, because this show really did keep you on the edge of your seat, and you were just curious to know why are these creatures here? But yeah, so I guess now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the review part, so just bear with me. I'm gonna do a little transition and try to make it work. Alright, y'all, so I said I was going to do that little transition. So this is the complete series disc set that I bought off of Amazon. I believe I purchased it for $11 used, but believe me, it was definitely worth it. And you see on the back right here, of course it includes bonus features, deleted scenes. I haven't watched them yet, but I just haven't had time to go and do that. But like I said, I was able to rewatch the entire show. And this is another thing I was going to say too. I definitely recommend, of course, still purchasing DVDs just in general, because, like, why would you not want to? Because you get all these bonus features and, you know, just everything. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video today, and yeah, I'll be probably doing some more, reviews in the future of maybe I'll do reviews of the or maybe a reaction to Surface, because I don't see a lot of reaction videos on YouTube of that, or even at all. But yeah, other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this video today, and I'll hope to see you in the next one. All right, bye.